Hi, it's Dr. David Greene, founder and CEO of R3 Stem Cell, the global leader in regenerative therapies. All right, I'm continuing on today with our FAQ video series, and I'm up to number 39. What is the cost of stem cell therapy? Well, unfortunately, a lot of clinics make it very complicated, either in the United States or international, with regards to the pricing. They'll give you like a worksheet that might be 2 pages with all these different line items, and it ends up being like a deer in the headlights kind of a experience. We don't do that. We try to make it as simple as possible. Now, the pricing for R3's stem cell packages around the world is predominantly linked to the amount of stem cells you're going to be receiving, okay? Now, that's a function of a few things. Could be your weight, it could be the condition that you're dealing with, and the severity of those conditions. Now, there are certain joints or things with arthritis that it's very straightforward. All right, now let me go through the pricing we have for Mexico. And the reason is because the pricing in Mexico is the same as it is in Turkey, as well as South Africa and the Philippines. Pakistan and India are going to be lower, and the United States is going to be a bit higher. All right, so to keep this abbreviated, let's do that. StemCellMexico.com, we have our table of pricing. We like to be as transparent as possible and not have, big secrets or do, I hate it when clinics nickel and dime patients. We do a lot of price matching. As the largest provider of regenerative therapies in the world, I want to make sure that when people get stem cell therapy, they get it as safely and most affordably as possible. So that's one of the things that we try to do is price match. Now, we do offer a price match guarantee from country to country. And what that means is if you come to us with a comparable quote where it's apples to apples, we'll not only match it, we'll beat it, okay? But a lot of the quotations that we get sent to us, they're not apples to apples. I saw one today where the provider put 300 milligrams of biologics. That doesn't mean anything. It doesn't have a number of stem cells in it. It doesn't have a number of exosomes. It's just a weight of a product, which led me to believe that it's probably a freeze-dried product that has no stem cells in it at all. I have seen plenty of quotations that have listed a ridiculously high number of stem cells for a ridiculously low price. One of 2 things is happening with that. Either A, they're skipping a lot of the safety testing, okay, which is a bad idea. The last thing we would ever want to do is to harm a patient unnecessarily by skipping the quality control testing. The second thing that's probably happening is that they are over-culturing the stem cells. When you over-culture them, they become non-functional, all right? So you might think, oh, I'm getting 300 million stem cells for $3,000 US. Yeah, but they're not gonna do anything, all right? So you gotta be very careful if you want to approach, what turns out to be the cheapest guy in town. Now, in Mexico, let's start with our pricing for 50 million stem cells. That's $4,950 US. Now, that includes ground transportation, the 50 million mesenchymal stem cells that are going to be 5th passage or less. All right, we don't overculture. It's also going to include 25 billion stem cell exosomes. PRP is included, a multivitamin is included, and yeah, I did mention the ground transportation as well. From the airport to the clinic, hotel, whatnot. Let's jump up to 100 million stem cells. That's our most common package that we offer, and it has a lot that's offered with it. It's $8,850 US. And what it includes is also the ground transportation. It includes 2 nights hotel. We'll book that for you, no worries. It also includes PRP, multivitamin, and 50 billion stem cell exosomes. Using the exosomes and the stem cells together has really been shown to amplify the outcomes. I see a lot of competitors who say, well, we don't recommend extra exosomes because they come as part of the stem cells. We like to give extra exosomes because we feel strongly that using the 2 together boost the effectiveness. Now let's move up to 150 million stem cell package. So 150 million stem cells is 12,750 US dollars. These are fifth passage or less mesenchymal stem cells, very high purity, potency. The quality control, safety testing exceeds what the United States FDA requires. Now, it also includes the ground transportation, PRP, multivitamin, along with 75 billion stem cell exosomes. So 150 million mesenchymal stem cells and 75 billion stem cell exosomes. Now, here's a secret. If you watch this video and you mention to our concierges, I will allow for an extra 25 billion exosomes for free, all right? So it's always fun to hear from the concierges. Did you say that? Yes, I did. All right, so let's bump up to 200 million stem cells, all right? Now, you might say to yourself, who in the world needs 200 million stem cells? Let me tell you. For 200 million stem cells, let's say you weigh 100 kilograms, which is about 225 pounds, okay? If you need 2 million stem cells per kilogram because of whatever you're dealing with, that's 200 million. With us in Mexico, Turkey, South Africa, Philippines, that's 16,150 US dollars. And that includes everything I mentioned before, such as the ground transportation from the airport to the hotel, to the clinic, hotel, whatnot, all right? That's all included, along with PRP, multivitamin. It also includes up to 3 nights in a hotel, along with 75 billion stem cell exosomes. Mention you saw this video, I'll bump it up an extra 25 billion so you get 100 billion total, all right? Now let me just relay something as what I would call a public service announcement. When I get a stem cell therapy, personally, I do it at one of our clinics, anywhere in the world, okay? Without reservation. I've had my parents, my wife, my in-laws, my closest friends, and extended family members getting treatments wherever we have clinics, because I know that the quality control safety measures in place that we have are the same at in all 7 countries where we have clinics. It doesn't change, it's the same. I get very concerned with the biologics that other clinics are using when they come in at pricing that is so low that I have to calculate in my head, wait a minute, you can't even produce quality stem cells that are safe to use for that type of pricing. So they are either skipping steps or offering you something that just frankly doesn't exist, or stem cells that are non-functional. All right, there you have it. That's my public service announcement. Visit us online at r3stemcell.com and then call us at +1 844 GET STEM to get set up with a free consultation to see if you or a loved one is a candidate for one of these wonderful, revolutionary regenerative procedures. Thank you.